P-Man, check this out. It looks like we finally got the auto-censoring working for Linux Gamecast Weekly podcast for the internet that will be safe. For chitlins, we could actually get a PG rating or non-explicit tag in places that don't like adult reality.
Oh, yeah. What the ever?
Oh, yes. Indeed, we'll have it.
This is bull. Barbara Streisand.
Are you looking to promote your upcoming Kickstarter, Indiegogo, or Steam Greenlight project for as little as 35 wet stinky cashes? Send us a note at show@linuxgamecast.com for more information. Coming up on this Linux Gamecast Weekly, DOTA 2 is finally here. Guns of whatever it's called has a massive update. Crytek is coming to Linux? ? Apogee makes with some open source, and we throw the chairs at gateways. All this, plus your hate mail. Let's go. And welcome back to another Linux Gamecast Weekly. I'm your indifferently good technical director running the boards. That's where I'm here at the LGC mothership in Athens. Joining me. Joining me? Oh, indeed. As always, chaotic neutral master from Ganadia. Some call him the Sphang, but we need not worry. And the giggling death himself. Some say it's the last thing you see before the angels grab your nipples. Mr. Porto Rage himself, Master Mateus. Together, we basically form an unholy cocaine Voltron of Linux gamecasting, and tonight we're going to be talking about DOTA 2 coming to Linux, guns of whatever the hell it's called. Pedro is going to be on that. Crytek. It might play Linux. Well, that's going to be fun. Apogee makes with the open source, and we're going to throw some chairs at gateways. Don't know about it, but you will soon. So, what are we up to? And we're going to go to the rage first. What's going on, Master Mateus?
Yeah,
You can just see the steam coming out of his ears.
Psst.
No, actually, you can. It's going right into the headset. But anyway, I was actually accepted into a work-from-home type gig. I'm I'm a search engine quality consultant. I mostly just click things, so yeah. The thing is, the tasks are not. I don't get a lot of tasks, and the availability of work in general is spotty at best, so for all intents and purposes, I'm still unemployed. God damn it.
I had to deal with flooding in Toronto, though not direct flooding, the power outages.
I heard
rolling
about that. People got
blackouts.
stuck in trains.
Yeah.
Wasn't there even a Sharknado?
We didn't have power in the building for a while. That was kind of fun.
I saw your tweets about that.
Yeah, we had UPS power though, so we got so we could do some stuff. About 20 odd minutes. But the fun stuff happened the next day as I found out that the power outage fucked up my RAID, so I got to spend the next day farting around with that and getting that all up and running, and yeah, that's about it.
Over here, not a whole lot. One thing, if you're familiar with the podcast, which you should be, watching us live, maybe that's a good idea. But, Pedro, you know about the Carmageddon guys, right?
Yeah, I backed that campaign, 6 months, 7 months ago?
About a year ago.
Or a year,
Yeah, we're coming up on that. This is update 43, just to get everybody in logic. Update 43 is 8 paragraphs that ends with not.
Yeah.
And I'm getting a bit worried because apparently they've used the Kickstarter money to build the Android app, and that's fantastic. And on top of that, well, we have some concept art. Outside of that, we're expanding the scope of the project. That was me just a bit. Master's Fang, you might enjoy this. I did learn exactly how many simultaneous HTTP connections LinuxGamecast.com can handle.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And that's when it went down.
Interesting. Now, here's the question. What NPM are you using for your Apache?
Well, for whatever reason, the default was set for 15 seconds.
NPM? That's 15 seconds. That's not what I'm talking about at all.
No, I'm not talking about FPM. I'm talking about the failover for the sequel. Because, yeah, we got that we had a bit of a spike in traffic when we announced something because we got the first news for it. We'll be talking about it later, which is kind of neat. V2 is up, kind of. That's kind of our live streaming bit based on now FFmpeg 2.0. It's kind of working.
V2.
It's called V2, working title. It's not a final solution, but I do hope to...
I did not see that terminology coming out of your mouth.
I just hope to be able to release it first in the UK. Yeah. So enough about that. Let's get into the whoring.
Yes, so here's that wonderful part of the week where we rip off all our clothes, oil ourselves up, and dance around for you. And you can see that all on linuxgamecast.com/podcast, where we have some
What do you mean podcast? People just listen to us on the YouTubes and the internet.
Well, they do, but they also listen to us via our fancy schmancy RSS feeds for SD video, HD video, and SD audio. And maybe while you're there watching us dance around all old up, you can stuff some money in our G-strings through our Amazon affiliate links or our wonderful little donation buttons.
Well, the Amazon links, what's that going to cost me?
That's going to cost you nothing then.
What do you mean?
That's going to cost you absolutely nothing.
So if I just buy something through those links, if I just buy something through those links, you're telling me that we're going to get some wet stinky cash and it's not going to require registration or anything, too. And we get some taste of that?
We get a little bit of that, microtransactions and whatnot. But going back to those lovely little black donation buttons, a one-time donation gets your name on the donative board. But if you give us $10, you get a month's access to our show notes. And we got to thank Matthew C. for donating $13.37 because he thinks that he's a elite donor.
Totally.
It's a totally
We appreciate the money. If you give us a recurring donation, though, a Tree a month, you get your name on the donative board plus a shameless plug. And a recurring donation of $10 a month gets you your name on the donative board, a shameless plug, and access to the show notes so you could watch the sausage before it's made in the slaughterhouses. But if you don't have any money, then the best thing you can do for us is spread the word. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors. Go to the hospital's psychiatric ward and start screaming it at the patients until they come visit LinuxGamecast.com. Or, alternatively, they could visit our YouTube page.
All right, fine. Go into the YouTube thing. Before we completely get into the YouTube thing, I don't like advertisements. Do you like advertisements?
I could do without them.
How about you, P-Man?
Yeah, no.
The thing
Depends
is,
on the advertisement.
we all have day jobs. Well, Pedro's working on it, but there are advertisements on Linux Gamecast, and we only get micro fractions of cents if you watch 15 seconds of them. So, just throwing that out there, do what you will. I'm not saying to do anything, but with the whoring,
Yes, whoring. So yeah, check us out at youtube.com/LinuxGamecast. We got all sorts of videos there. We got some Let's Plays, we got some B-Reels, we got some podcasts if you want to actually watch this thing on YouTube. But
Oh, something new we're doing. Well, new, old. We are breaking our reviews into their own little separate shows.
Yes, if you just want to catch the review part of the show and you don't want to listen to us ramble on about stuff you don't care about, you can watch the review segment on its own on YouTube. Ain't that just super? But you know what else is not super? Facebook. But we have our presence there, and Pedro's going to tell you all about it.
Yes, it's our fancy schmancy YouTube? No, Facebook
YouTube page.
He hates it so much. He just pretend it's YouTube.
So, Facebook.com/LinuxGamecast. We got 51 likes. Sweet. Yeah. So if you're not on Twitter, if you're not on
Are you
Google
saying
Plus,
that's less than the 3.9 thousand likes we have on G+?
yes, unfortunately, but
Ladies and gentlemen,
people...
EP Wagon on Linux Gamecast. Pedro, go on. Tell them about the Facebook page.
If you're not on Google Plus and if you're not on Twitter, you can follow us on Facebook. There's some really nice stuff there that me and Ven usually share. It's mostly Ven and me. Jordan, are you even an admin?
No,
I can make you an
because
admin.
I don't really use Facebook all that much.
Oh, okay,
Join the
fair enough.
club.
Well, carry on.
It's like, oh, right, I have a Facebook account. Huh.
Second favorite Kiwi in the entire world.
Yes, second
The
favorite
second.
Kiwi in the entire world. First one being Liz Quilty.
Yep.
This is reddit.com/r/Linux_gaming, our favorite subreddit, where we get lots of stories for our podcast. Lots of good discussion there, lots of cool people. Subscribe, join the conversation, upvote some stuff. Maybe your story, if you post it there, it'll get featured on our show.
Yeah, I mean, look
Maybe
at this.
we'll just go
Steam
make
guide
disparaging
for
remarks about your
NVIDIA
mother.
Optimus users. That might be.
Optimus users, yeah, that was an article that I liked, even though I kind of knew that already, but it's good to see that's getting a bit more exposure. And yeah, that'll about sum that up. Except we got one more thing we got to cover. We have LinuxGamecast.com/live where you can watch this. You could be watching this right now. If you're in chat realm, you're watching this right now.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Way to call me out on something that I don't have prepared.
Yes.
It is
So while
hidden
Ben's scrambling
cleverly
for a cover, we
under that
have
live
LinuxGamecast.com/live, where you can watch us live every week. Saturday, starting from 9, usually. Sometimes there'll be some technical difficulties, but who cares about that? Watch the sausage as it gets made. We got an IRC Channel 2 on the Freenode network. You can go to #LGC-Weekly and join in the chaos with these morose motherfuckers right here in chat realm.
And we also need to thank the ones we're here for, Chat Realm.
We got our favorite part, the favorite part of the LGC crew.
Trolliest of trolls, the darkest of dark. They're kind of like, what were those critters' names in that Doctor Who night at the library?
The Vashta Narada.
The Vosters. All right, we have no control over them. It just turns out that they just kind of show up here in our book of trees.
The darkness.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to mess with these type of people. They just show up here. This is their home on Saturday night. So keep that in mind.
But
You don't want to mess with their home.
no, you don't want to mess with our homeboys.
Giggity.
Nope.
But we like to educate you chillins at Linux Gamecast Weekly. Every week, we take it upon ourselves to further your education and
this week,
make you aware of things that you should not do. It's kind of like a children's show, except a lot more dark.
This
Then
is definitely
tell them about
a
what they should know
public
this week.
service announcement, because there's something I want all of Chatroom to get in on. Tesla Grad. Is it Tesla Grad? Yes.
Tesla Grad.
Is
Like Stalingrad.
hand-drawn animation, brilliant little platformer, and apparently is good, comrade. I mean, it looks fun, which I do say it looks fun. I think, Pedro, you and I have both been playing it.
I haven't played it yet. I have the key. I have it enabled on the server. I haven't even started it yet.
You get to move over electricity. The way to get into this will be in the show notes, or you can just read really hard, really quick.
Oh yeah, this is like a laundry list of instructions.
Or you can just go to teslagrad.com/forum.
That's
you
where
get to their forums. You'll find a thread. It's easy enough. Well,
Step
it would
one.
be easy enough. Yeah.
Then, Pedro, tell them about the process that you need to go through in order to get a copy of the Linux Alpha of Teslagrad.
Wait, was that for Ven or for me?
Both.
Basically, here's how it works out. All right. This is why this is a PSA. And I'm reading over the show notes here. I was like, oh, did anyone get the step 1 email? And I was like, okay.
Hey, yep.
Log into the forums. Create an account. Good. All right. Yeah, you don't like doing that. For an alpha, normally, just give me the damn game. Then, we wait. It was like, oh, email me back with your email address that you registered with the form. So, okay.
So they can give you access to the special beta.
Right. Something news coming here. All right, fine.
Time passes.
And finally, today, I get a message with, oh, the game's ready for you to go. Codes are available. I was like, oh.
32-bit only, actually.
But, I'm not getting to that yet. That was email. So I wrote back and I was like, what fucking codes, to be honest with you? It was like, oh, here's your Desura code. It's like, are you shitting me? We just went through all that to get the Desura. Do you not know how to alpha test a game? And I'll save the engine for the kicker. Go ahead, Pedro.
Yeah, I followed the steps, much like Ven described. I registered. I sent them the email with the my forums username. I sent them all that. I even posted on the introduction thread, and they're like, "Oh, okay, you now have access, but the game isn't available yet." And I'm like, "What? Why? Come on!" And then, just like Ven said, today I got an email saying, "Oh, hey, we got 32-bit codes for the alpha testers." Okay. No 64-bit? Oh, no, 64-bit, we still got some issues to sort out. Okay. Well, at least I got my key now, so I can't fault them too much. But
I'm still waiting on mine. So.
Yeah.
No, I think at the end of the day, look at the show notes, so pick this up. Pedro, go ahead and put that form link in chat room, if you would, sir.
I will. Right now.
The PSA is, we've probably played or dealt with more alphas than you've made.
Yep.
And that is an enormous amount of hoops to get to the Desura key.
Yep.
So the pro tip is, next time, I was like, here's your Desura keys. Test it. We'll get on it. And we'll give you real feedback. We won't go, hey, look, new Linux game, and I'll boot that on my Windows party. That's not the type of people we are. We'll rake you over the coals, but we'll give you good feedback.
Yep.
And
now, Ven, I hear there's some desire for you to scream into tin cans.
Yeah.
I don't
Our
know.
second PSA this evening.
This is not even a PSA. I just needed to put this in somewhere.
Ben needs to vent.
In stereo.
Ooh, I'm excited. Where are those going?
Giggity! No, seriously. All joking aside, I want this just for the recording so I can point people directly to it. Because here's the issue. Yes, I will do voice work for your game. No issue. I don't care about one thing. Oh, yes. We'll let you do voice work for our game. And we'll even not pay you and include your name in the credits. How about that? That sounds...
So you're performing the bare minimum of crediting someone for the work that they did in your game? That's not payment. That's not even...
No. The painful part
requirement.
is like, oh, do you want finished audio? I just wrote that back for a ruse before I wrote anything. And guess what they said?
What?
Yeah, we want finished audio.
Oh, so not only do you have to record it, you gotta edit and polish it yourself. Wow.
They're not paying you.
I'm not going to call names, but you know who you are. And apparently you watch the show.
So take that as a pointer, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
if you're gonna hire someone, expect them to want money.
Here's the pointer.
Yep.
Rules of life. It goes like so. If you have a for-profit game, ask me for a, rate card. Boom, got one. Psh, I've been doing this professionally for 15 years. Then you go into shock. I'm like, I can't afford that. What an indie do it? Then call me. Or, modern. I'm an old man. I do that when I should.
He still has his rotary telephone.
Lord! But then we'll work something out. And when it comes to fast games, seriously, as long as it's a good project, ask the guys at Zero AD. I'm the trailer voice. Come
Yep.
on.
We love supporting
Didn't
free open
charge
source
them a
games.
dime. Yeah, Linux Gamecast Weekly is all over that. And we're proud to be a part of that project. But we need to give away things.
Oh, yes. We did have an way of give last week.
Which is located...
For Best Romantic Comedy, Babylon 5 or Star Trek Enterprise. Now, we had a couple submissions. Not as many as the previous contests.
Yeah, see, we didn't plan it on the Steam sale.
No, we didn't really plan FTL going on sale for like $2.
Right. So to simplify it, the rules were simple. In your own words, Best Romantic Comedy, Babylon 5 or Enterprise, the one with Scott Bakula and the super sweet Vulcan girl.
Oh, yes, Miss Jolene Blaylock.
Also the semi-hot Dr.
abs.
Phlox.
Yeah, Dr. Phlox. John Billingsley, pretty good actor.
Versus these guys, which I was so
Babylon
young.
5. It was a niche market.
Hey.
You know what? Way back when in the 90s, when this was cutting edge, that show was the shit.
Yeah, admittedly, I watched it.
It has not aged gracefully. I watched it recently. The story still holds up, but the acting is hit or miss.
It's pretty
and
much
the
Full
visual
Metal
effects
green
are
screen.
Amiga-rific.
Yeah.
That's where I learned to use my first video toaster. Bingo!
But anyways, we took your
So-
feedback, and we're going to announce some winners.
All right, I'll announce the last one. J-Man, you take the first one.
The first one, really, guys? Really? Well, why don't I just stop stalling and get to it? So the first one is Free Jack, because he was picked arbitrarily. He says that Enterprise was the better series because of Scott Bakula and Jolene Blaylock keeping the dynamic interesting, while Babylon 5 depended mostly on Bruce Boxleitner. Which I disagree with, but whatever. He got picked. He wins. He gets to save himself $2.50. So he'll go buy himself a pop.
I'm a huge fan and was an Amiga gamer.
Yeah.
So, we got this guy, Colin Keaton.
Keenan. Yeah. He also gets a key. Because, well, while Free Jack actually decided on one series actually being the best, Colin provides a very eloquent opinion on neither of them being particularly compelling. And he says he can't even remember the plot of a single episode from either of those series. So he can't make up his mind on which was the best rom-com. And that indecision nets him a key for FTL.
Now, best but not least, probably the most prolific one.
The douche canoe.
Sore loser. Blaylock, enough said.
Jolene Blaylock's abs do kind of win that argument. But really, the best romantic comedy, science fiction related, is...
Jordan, I got an idea that might blow your mind.
Oh, yeah?
What if me, you, and Pedro do that with Sharknado?
Oh yes.
We could only do it live. There's no way we could ever record it and stream it.
We could record our riff tracks and submit it to their iRiff section.
Yeah, I've thought of this. Yeah, Sharknado.
Sharknado. I'm down for Sharknado.
Yeah.
But there's another kind of foul wind approaching.
Well, before that foul wind is over, let's just take a look at Scott Bakula and his puppy dogs. Oh, everyone's staring.
But Simon Pegg killed the beak.
Again, that's Free Jack. Colin Keaton, Soul Loser. We'll send you a note in the forums, which we also have. Brilliant idea. New things always going on there in the discussion section. New scrumble ships, gateways, and all this DOTA.
Yes.
But
yes. Before that bit out. So we're making
going to be much gray matter, reanimated, I believe, gray matter.
Yes, we have reconstituted it, killed it, and started beating it again. It is our Steam
Linux
update
of the week. And this week,
yeah, we got a new client update. Really, it's just that beta that we announced a couple weeks ago. That got promoted to a full-time actual client release. But the Cliff Notes version of it is it adds support for 64-bit titles, which if you're a part of the beta, you already have.
Are you looking forward to that, man? I mean,
the 32-bit stuff, the 32-bit support has been pretty good, so I've not really run into any issues.
Isn't there that one 64-bit game?
Yes.
Oh, there's two, actually.
Two?
But anyways.
There's also Receiver.
Anyways, they fixed some client skins, they fixed some crashes, they fixed some Steam overlay stuff, and some memory leaks. But all good stuff. If you've been subscribing to the beta, which you should be like a good Linux user, then you already have access to this stuff. We're just throwing this in there for posterity. But then, it's a sales extravaganza.
I don't know. I gotta say, Service Error 503 was 75% off for most of Tuesday.
Most of the entire week, actually.
And by that, we're talking about our Steam summer sale?
Not quite summer sale.
Oh, yeah.
Well, everything's on sale, but there's a catch. At least for me, sir. It might be for... Yeah, I think it's going to be for most everyone who's a Linux gaming enthusiast. It's everything you already own, but cheaper.
Making you regret those decisions to buy them when they were not in sale.
Oh, yeah. But ain't that the rub with any Steam-related purchase? It's like, what? I could have paid half for this if I waited 4 months.
that I was like, I've always been holding off of buying. Because I'm new to this whole Steam sale. I mean, this is like my first year. Literally, my first year.
We broke his Steam sale, Hyman.
Popped your hymen, man.
No, it takes a fist.
Gabe ends fist.
Right. Preferably a little rocket propulsion there and some lube. The one game, I was like, I kind of want to play Bit Trip Runner 2, and it's like the one game out of everything. It's like, oh, it's like 2% off. But I'm joking, it's like 33% off. It's like, I'm still not paying $9 for that. Would you?
No, I think for Bit Trip Runner 2, $5 maybe, but no. I think the highest discount right now is for iBomber Defense and iBomber Attack. They're like 89 cents and 59 cents.
And we've seen Left 4 Dead 2 cheaper.
Yeah,
We have.
much cheaper.
Much cheaper. That's why we have all the keys.
But remember, generally the last Sunday is the best of sale, so you got all the good cheap deals in one day for your last chance to give Gaben more money for him to roll around in.
Hey, if it'll bring Half-Life 3,
Jordan,
I don't mind it.
Pedro, Jordan,
Yeah.
Jordan,
What?
you're just telling tales.
Oh yeah, but you know what? I think these folk are a bit sick of tales. And
Well,
you know what?
then-
I think I'm a bit sick of this tale. This guy. This guy, he says, "Hello, Linux community." Okay, I'm not. Long story short, Linux programming is hard. I don't want to do this.
With
have
the
to support
current
multiple
state
video
of
cards.
AMD drivers and the general lack of OEM JPO driver support for Linux, I'm concerned that launching a Linux version at this moment would lead to a deluge of support incidents that would be a major destruction.
Hey, here's the thing. You know what? One thing Linux users are really, really good at? Filing
shit?
bugs.
Yep, we've been doing it for a while.
Wow. And yeah, he basically rolls down to, he's like, camera's panning with a, I'll do this.
Listen,
And it could only possibly be
the tools
done
are here. More
with
tools are
NVIDIA
coming.
only.
Yeah, I don't like how he puts that, yeah. He says, with the current state of AMD drivers and the general lack of OEM GPU support for Linux, I'm concerned that launching a And then he says,
Really? What
we'd
do you
have
mean
to make
lack?
the minimum
The drivers
supported
exist.
specification NVIDIA cards only. Yeah, they're doing that thing that's most Linux developers, Linux game developers haven't done in a while, which is say, oh, the AMD drivers suck on their Linux, so we're not even gonna bother. Use NVIDIA or fuck off. What the hell?
See, here's the deal. I want to actually be able to play video games on my gigantic TV on my Steam box, which runs ATI graphics.
What's the
Which
name of the
means you-
game again, Master's Fate? So you can look it up.
Folktale.
Yep.
Folktale.
Folktale, so
It'll be in
turn
the-
tail and run from this game.
Continue.
Anyways, it's... Imagine the tables were turned. Oh, AMD drivers suck on Windows, which they do. I'm not going to support ATI on Windows. You'd have a fucking hissy fit.
You'd have
People would-
everyone on your ass at that point, because AMD
it-
cards are actually cheaper.
At the end of the day, as somebody who knows a bit about graphic driving, if you said that under Linux, there might be a marginal camp that go, hey, kind of get a point.
No, there would, but at the same time, there needs to be drive for AMD to improve their drivers. And
I think
there
this
needs
would
to
be good
people who
drive.
Can take
The
these
one thing
existing
that
drivers
really
and work around
worries
their
me
shitty issues.
is, and I know I'm going to get a lot of extra love mail for this, is
Oh, yeah.
quit trying to support Intel Embedded. Quit it. I mean, discrete graphics drivers. I mean, if you want to make a 3D game, boom, you need at least $150 graphics card.
But if you look at the Steam hardware specs, the highest percentage of graphics cards are Intel embedded graphics.
That's because people
So
are
that
trying
might
it
actually
on the
be
netbooks.
detecting Optimus systems that are just advertising their Intel cards.
Bingo!
Yeah, but then again, the Ultrabook market is doing surprisingly well.
Well,
Don't
and
ask me why. I
was-
hate those things.
I was
but
actually going to add on that Intel's GPUs are actually getting pretty decent.
yeah, the new Haswell series can handle itself. I'll give them that. But
They are
yeah.
almost as fast as my 3-year-old GTX 450.
Hey,
Yep.
I got to give Intel one thing: their drivers are open sourced at least.
Yeah.
Like their prime
And
time.
everyone who wants to play a game goes, man, I'm really glad this is slow in open source. That's
as I said, Intel integrated GPUs are getting better.
so. What were you
and-
saying about this company? Maybe we shouldn't worry
Yeah,
about
let's
folktales?
not toss them some money until they nut up.
Yeah, until they get their balls in place, maybe someone needs to kick them so they get into place. Until then, no money.
I claim to
secular
take this next
tradition.
story, but I don't think I have the right to because it's going to fall on Pedro because the beta is coming.
over.
Wait, it's over! What? Tell us about it, B-Man.
Yep. It's Dota 2. If you
What-
don't know what it is,
what's
it's
a Dota 2?
MOBA.
Is that like a
Actually, the original, was it Blizzard that made the original Dota?
The original Dota was actually an adaptation of a StarCraft mod.
Yes, precisely.
That was ported to Warcraft 3, and this mod was
Yeah.
called Defense of the Ancients. And if you haven't played a MOBA before, basically you have two teams. There's a big building on either side of the map that the other teams are trying to destroy, and you try and stop each other.
So you're basically saying if
Pretty
you've
much.
ever played Warcraft 3, you understand what a MOBA is.
Yeah, it's basically Warcraft 3, only in a multiplayer online battle arena. That's what MOBA stands for.
But anyways,
But yeah.
this was kind of a big deal because it had a bunch of the original developers from the Dota mod. Several of them went off and made
Well,
Han,
not the
several of them went off and made League of Legends. Dota 2 is the one that is the official sequel.
It
So they
was
say.
a bit awesome, when this launched. Even it was missing an executable. When it initially launched in North America on the East Coast, Steam went down.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. A lot of people were saying they're on the fence because of the Dota 2. So
They were saying a lot of people were.
Yeah. I actually saw someone on Reddit in the Dota 2 is now available for Linux thread. And they said that once Dota 2 was on Linux and AMD graphics drivers were as good as Windows, that they switch completely over to Linux. Oh, dude, you're stuck with Windows.
you're gonna be waiting a while.
All right.
Though to be fair, the source
Yeah,
engine has been optimized
let
for
me
the
guess.
Linux ATI
Yeah.
drivers.
Masses
So.
Fang, would you allow me the floor, sir?
No, I'm gonna filibuster this shit. So I think no, go talk.
Fine. I was going to go take a smoke break. Here's the dice. Yeah, it's on you now because so many people I've read and Linux_gaming and several other forums is, oh, this is the last thing. As soon as I have this, I'm going to rip away my Windows partition and only use Linux. No, you're fucking not. Dota 2 was not keeping you from dual booting. Dota 2 has a platinum rating under Wine. And if you're not clever enough to have been able to run that under Wine, you're not getting rid of your Windows partition. So, please, consider this an extended PSA of shut the F up. Okay?
Stallman out.
Prance back to your Windows partition and don't say that again. Cheers.
Because that's what we need to drive people away from Linux.
What about this Guns
Get
of whatever
off
the
our
hell
law.
it's called?
Guns of
Ah.
Icarus 1.3, Pedro.
That was
Actually,
Icarus.
no, Ben, you take it.
Well, you want to take it, Vin? I can take it. I'm good.
No,
You
no, it's
can
whatever
take
it's
it
called.
all right.
All right, it's Guns of Icarus because Ven apparently calls it Guns of Icarus. He sees an eye there somewhere. I don't, so yeah, whatever. So they released the new. Actually, this was a pretty big patch. It was like 500 megabytes or something. They had a new ship, the Mobula, a new gun, the Phobos light mine launcher, a new costume bundles and new costumes and all that. They expanded the beginning.
Well, it's kind of funny you were talking about DLC.
Yeah, that's the thing. If this was EA making the game, or
Aren't those
publishing the
costumes and things purchasable?
game, no, a new
item?
ship, a new gun,
That's $1
new
each.
costumes, and raise the level cap to it's now level 15, the max. They would call this DLC and charge you like $20 for this.
You know,
This
no,
is
if this was
news.
EA, this would be an entirely different game, and you'd have to pay full price.
It would be
if
released-
This was EA Sports,
It would be
you'd have to
released
pay 60.
midsummer 2015.
Precisely. If this was EA Sports, you'd have to pay for the whole new game.
So you're saying this is a
But
pretty big
it's not.
patch, right?
Yeah, this is imagine a MOBA but with airships and with up to 4 people per crew.
That we really need to man
Yes,
the
we should.
SS 9000. Yes.
Yep. We should totally do that one of these days. And
Yes, that's-
it's actually right now it's one of my favorite games that are on Steam for Linux. I'm all over this thing. I got like
It's a
50
brilliant
hours
looking
already clocked
game.
Yeah,
in. It is.
it really shows what the Unity engine's capable of, and
Yeah.
what a small development team can do with it.
They went out of their way for this one. And
Muse Games, you got my money any day of the week.
we're not just saying that because we got golden tickets for the online version, but regardless.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
think
smelling
it's
so
time
much.
to-
Kind of wafting away, yeah.
Yeah, I think the foul wind has blown away, and we'll take our freshly resurrected and reconstituted dead horse and stuff it
Frank
under the
horse.
porch for another week.
So, I guess that leaves us with only one option
One option and one option only.
to do the news.
Woo!
Welcome back to the news. And to start us off in this new segment, you might remember a certain game we talked about a few episodes back, which didn't run. And no, Ven, it's a bit back. A bit. 2 tabs to the left. No, the one after that. Right there. That's it. And yeah. Unvanquished. If you remember our previous episode, if you don't, you should totally go back and watch it.
You
Otherwise,
should watch all our episodes
carry
on
on.
YouTube.
Yeah, but it was Alpha 15 or Alpha 14 that we did. I can't exactly remember.
Of
But-
what game, Pedro?
Unvanquished. I already mentioned that.
What's it called again?
Unvanquished.
Sounds like a naughty bit.
It is. It is very naughty. And you can actually, find the new Alpha 17, which actually works now, which is awesome. Unfortunately, it's
Now, when you say
another...
actually works, you mean it actually works for you.
Well, yeah, it worked for me.
Because I've been playing it forever.
Yeah, but remember last time that we all tried to run it and none of us actually managed to? When the Alpha 14 or Alpha 15 release came around,
They're
it was one
having
of
that
those.
trouble for a while.
Yeah,
Various alphas
it wouldn't
wouldn't-
run for anyone. Well, except Arch users, because apparently
Arch!
those were having success. But yeah,
Never
if
heard
this
of
one's
them. What are
actually
they?
working- And from what I could tell, it's Imagine natural selection. Only instead of being based on the source engine, it's based on the id Tech 3 engine. It's another Linux FPS based on the id Tech 3 engine.
So at the end of the day, basically, what you're trying to say
it's a Linux-based FPS.
Jordan, yeah, right. Aliens versus humans, right?
Yep.
And there's a bit of strategy involved, and you got to build your bases. You got to play tower defense between aliens and humans. So the one good thing about this that I was really happy about is they've improved the bots. Now, bot improvements, that might not sound like a big thing, but you got to think. The human bots, yeah, when you're playing with aliens, aliens stick on walls as aliens are tend to do.
Xenomorphs.
So are Pedro's. But credit is due. I've seen you do that once. It was nasty business. That's a very complex thing. Spin those critters around and get them working in proper order. But it's not quite there yet, but it's infinitely better. Where can they find it, P-Man?
They can find it at www.unvanquished.net. If you really want to go to the article, you can check out the link. It's in our show notes, or navigate their website through the news section, and you'll see that Alpha 17 is now ready and available for download. There's actually a PPA if you're running Ubuntu or Mint.
What's it cost? I mean, how much is it going to cost me?
It costs absolutely not.
Are you saying they're going to give it
nothing
for free?
Yep.
Well, I might be Vin Stone, but I'm not Blake Stone.
You're not Blake Stone. Planet Strike. Now, this is kind of cool. I always like when devs go and release the source code for their old unsupported games, because really, that's one of the greatest things about the open source community is the fact that other people will do your work for you. And so they have the guys at Apogee Software have open sourced Blake Stone Planet Strike. And now you can download the source code, and there'll be some people hammering it in place to get it working under Linux. This is basically Wolfenstein in space. Look at that. That was Space Hitler right over there getting his face shot off.
Or getting a facial, either way.
Or getting a facial. A bullet facial. The box art really does remind me of Space Mutiny, though.
Go ahead.
I was actually thinking. Last time we had a game go open source, we had a little bet going on that some Linux dev would have a working version within a month. And that was for a 2001, 2002, 2003 game, Jedi Academy.
This will probably run in DOSBox, all things considered.
Yeah, but even if they do get a truly native version from the ground up, how long do you think it'll take them?
For this...
I don't know. Then again, someone that really has to care in order to do it.
Yeah, you see, that's where I'm at with this. Is like this is Wolfenstein in space. I get big long turns.
Ben Stone, ladies and gentlemen, give him a round of applause.
So, as Master Sven was saying, there's going to be minimal interest in recreating this, but it will happen. I'm sure it's been forked like the Blue Raja. So, that's definitely going to be a thing, but you know who's coming up and looking for somebody to write...
It really makes me want to shed a tear.
For PS4, I mean Linux.
So, how long exactly until we can benchmark... till we can play Crysis on Linux?
Will it run... this is from Crytek. The Crytek, the old common nomenclature of will it run Crysis? Well, will it run Crisis on Linux? The CryEngine team is looking for a program. Just one. Because...
The lone one.
Yeah. Rogue programmer. He's like, I'm gonna walk.
You only really need one Linux guy, anyways.
He's gonna be
not like
walking in there. He's gonna assassinate 3 or 4 art developers. He's like, yeah, we don't need them anyway. So, yeah, I was kind of happy about this. Maintain Linux. I was like, yeah, good. Like the requirements. All right.
Until you get to...
Well, yeah, there's this point, you know.
Yeah.
I was like, willing to relocate to Germany. I was like, got the passport.
There are worse places.
But
nice
then,
women, nice
unfortunately, they had this horrible keep a positive team. Oh, fuck that.
Listen, Crytek. You're looking for Linux programmers, not happy-go-lucky unicorn chasers.
Yep. There is no such thing as a happy Linux developer.
There is just perpetual... There's just various degrees of rage.
Yep.
Now, this is the one thing I really want to propose. I mean, they are, outright saying Linux programmers, but we've all talked about the developments with, yes, the PS4 now?
Yeah.
It's running a custom version of BSD, but guess what? That's Linux.
Chicken butt.
Yeah. And everything's going to be running on the 8-core x86 and all that. So do you honestly think this is a scream to get everything ported to Linux for Steam for a Steam box, or are they looking for PS4 developments, Jordan?
I think they can kill 2 birds with 1 stone with this.
Yeah.
I'm one.
Yeah. Hey, you should apply. You speak German anyways.
9.
You speak German, and you're from Germany, so you can just, pack your shit.
Gigantic Nazi bastard.
So what do you think? I mean...
obviously they're taking this seriously if they want to hire someone. And like we've said a million times before on this show, it's going to take a couple of years, but we're going to see some AAA titles coming to Linux eventually, and this is Crytek's first step.
Yeah.
So
with that in mind, that's good news. So how about a little bit of not so good news? Or
I'm a bit fuzzy on this, Pedro. Why don't you?
Yeah. I think we need a second opinion, or maybe even a second life to figure this out.
I'd have to put my snout up it.
Yeah. So apparently, Linden Lab, the makers of Second Life, which runs natively under Linux, bought out Desura. That pre-Steam, sort of Steam for Linux client that existed. That hasn't been updated.
The guy's name
years.
is Rod Humble. Something tells me he should be working for the Humble Foundation. I mean, come on, it's perfect.
No, okay. My favorite thing is, let's just be fair. In the show notes, I said breaking. Failed project buys out failed project, and then P-Man goes on straight defense.
Yeah,
and
then
wait. Then I was like, oh, you make a very fair point. Until Master Sphinx shows up at the very end and goes, and furries. It's like, my point stands.
But yeah, I mean, it's not exactly, a failed project. I wouldn't call... Like I said in the notes, I wouldn't call Second Life a failed project. It managed to gather all the needy attention whores and furries, according to Jordan, and furries, all those people in the same place.
Red Rocket.
They're all in the same place, all in one place, and they're not clogging the other mediums/games. So I say it's a good thing.
And you know what? There's always 2 renewable markets that you can target: hipsters,
Yep.
and attention whores.
At the end of the day, I mean, what this means for Linux gaming is it's Desura, so, and it's also Linden Labs. It's like a double dose of who the hell still cares?
I don't know. Maybe they can do something with it. Who knows?
Yeah, hopefully
How?
they can do something with it. I mean, the Desurium guys have been keeping up the work and updating the client. But-
Pedro, let's do a bit of role playing.
Got the dice for it. And the book.
Ring, 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 ring.
Hello?
I'm Gabe Newell.
I think
Fuck
your name
off.
sounds familiar.
Problem solved.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, Pedro, the correct answer was, I know who you are, Grandma. Stop calling me.
Okay. Admittedly, the Sura is becoming a bit redundant. But if they can make something not Second Life, don't make the Sura the front end to Second Life.
Ring,
nope.
ring,
Ven,
ring,
put
ring.
that down. Put it down, Ven.
Put down the phone, Vin. Can you pick up the phone? Because there's
I don't
one
know.
road in
I'm
Canada.
optimistic. I may be the only one in this crew left with a soul. Not even Shatrealm has a soul anymore, and I am optimistic. I hope they can do something decent with it. Hopefully, they won't just turn it into a launcher for Second Life, please.
I
Pretty
still
please.
say Desura has an in if they leverage their connection with the ModDB community and sort of go that route. Really,
ModDB,
there's places for
ModDB,
Desura
all
to
You
those
go.
guys.
also got to remember
They just
that
need to- they just need to be
Desura
creative.
started off with Humble Keys, then they did their own thing, which
Yeah.
basically they did, in stereo, as we always do, to Humble community. Goes like, oh, we'll do our own thing, and it's going to be better. And Humble's like, oh, good luck with that, kids.
Good luck with that.
And we've
How much
seen
was the top bundle Indie Royale bundle selling? Like 200K
if you-
at the most?
did like this with multiplication, net worth, whatever the hell they picked up Desura for, probably more than that. They genuinely cocked up the system. I mean, it was a great idea. Poor execution. It's a thing. So, I think that's going to be it for the news. What do you think, Master?
Yeah, I think that pretty much wraps us up. Coming up next, Jordan.
Yeah,
What's
we're gonna go through the gateway and throw some chairs.
Ooh.
Let's bring it.
And now it's our favorite time of the week where we step through a portal into another dimension, inhabited entirely by lawn chairs. And what do we do with these lawn chairs? Well, we throw them at Linux games. This week, the game we're throwing them out is Gateways, ported by a good friend of the show, Ethan Lee, also known as Flibbity Flobbity Floop.
Flippity jibbity.
Anyways, this is from Smudged Cat Games. It's essentially a retro pixel platformer. It's Mario, but without Mario. Anyways, time to get into that wonderful thing we like to call our chair explanation.
Oh,
Where we rate everything on a metric of 4 chairs, 1 chair being absolute garbage, 2 chairs being passable, 3 chairs being pretty good, and 4 chairs being orgasmic. And finally, we have our 4 categories where we apply our 4-chair metric of doom. We have mix with the working. Does it run? How badly does it run? How much effort does it take for you to get it running? All that good stuff. Shiny and sounds. How does it look? How does it sound? Is it crisp visuals and rich audio? Or does it all look and sound like poop? We got the controls, which is fairly self-explanatory. How does it control? And our final subjective category, fun, where we tell you whether we liked it or not. But time to kick into this. Then did it work?
Why has it always got to come to me, man?
Because you're the first one on the list.
Yep.
You wrote it. It's your problem.
Touche. know
I'm
about
going to make
this,
decisions,
man.
then complain about the consequences.
Me. Always
Anyways.
you. Always you. We are talking about Gateways. Gateways is that 2D lovable platformer, also available 50% off on Steam and DB 499. Whatnot, as I furiously look around for media.
There ain't none.
Yeah.
There
Currently.
is none.
Oh no, it's in the bottom. Scroll all the way down, you see it right there.
Where?
Keep
Right
scrolling.
next to the buy now button.
Keep scrolling. Scroll some more.
Live, ladies and gentlemen, Linux Gamecast Weekly.
Some more. There they are.
Ah. Anyways,
This is what
back
we're
on
dealing
topic.
with. Brilliant design, brilliant concept. Never heard of it. It's truly the most remarkable thing in the world. But no, all that is lies, because our first category is Makes with Working. And if you're following us live and you've put up with us, because we do about a 4-hour live show, we've discussed
how
this.
do these people put up with us?
Brilliant. Well, you know, it's because they love to hate us. They even pay money to hate us more, so we keep going.
Oh yes,
Brilliant. But Makes with Working on our... This is the Linux Gamecast test system, our Steam box. Ubuntu 12.04 LTS, 32-bit, NVIDIA-powered graphics. You know, 4 chairs out of the box. It's a thing.
Well, on Fedora 1864-bit, really should switch it over to Fedora 19 at some point. But on both the ATI and the NVIDIA box, because I run them both, because I'm crazy like that, they both ran out of the box, so I gotta give it 4 whole stinky lawn chairs.
It's only because you said, and then
I guess it falls onto me to throw a wrench into this well-oiled machine that is, Steam gaming on Linux.
no,
because-
that's probably because you're the one that's running ATI
I'm running it. I'm running it.
but
I didn't
Jordan
run into it.
also
on
is,
a calculator.
On a
Okay,
calculator.
granted, it's a 4-year-old laptop. Okay. But this never happened to me with any Steam game before. This is actually a first.
I
And
swear,
I
baby,
had-
this doesn't happen at all.
Yeah, or I had to enable VSync in AMD's Catalyst Control Center profile. How do you manage to cock that up? It's the intro menu, man. Come on.
Man.
But
Come on, man.
Yeah. considering that, I can only give it 3 chairs.
About treaters and no fitty.
Well, we would
Yeah,
give it
no
treat
fitting.
if we did half chairs, but you can't really sit on half a chair, so that'll
We're
bring
not
the
sea
total
monsters.
to 3 whole chairs.
So Max for the Working is 3 chairs, 4 and 3. And again, Master's thing, you tested it on an APU.
Yes, I tested it on an APU and a GTX 670 superclocked.
Sweet.
All right.
But yes, screeching on over to our next category, Shiny and Sounds. Up
Shiny
again
and
is Mr.
Sounds.
Vince Stone to tell us why he hates retro pixel platformers.
Well, I'm always one to be the first to proclaim my love for retro pixel platformers, because I just can't get enough of them. It seems like,
You played like full 3D games back when you were a kid, and
yeah,
Year-
when I was a
When taking
teenager
up
in
2000s.
1996, I was playing 3D games, but no, man, this just it mind blown. It's like I'm playing all the cool stuff at 1080p resolution on 27-inch monitors. Shiny All right. I can't keep this up. You win, Sveng. You win.
Neil, let me drink it.
This.
It's refreshing. It's delicious.
This is more difficult. I'm doing it hard as I possibly can.
Your ring finger. That's
Yeah. This is for the shiny and sounds. All right. Look at it. Look at it.
Welcome back to 1991, folks.
No, this is hipster-tastic. Like, hey, can you escape? Escape what? I don't know. Pixels? No, apparently we can't. This shiny and sounds. I'm going a bit long and I apologize for it. This is Mario. Mario. When they got that portal metric.
RE0?
Mario 0. Is that the name of it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always called it Mario. It's available and it runs natively under Linux with a Love engine.
Yep.
A couple of glitches, but it runs. We've kind of glossed over it, but shiny and sounds with this one chair. This seems like a rehash of something that I don't care about.
So I was actually going to give this 2 chairs because the graphics, although retro-y and pixely, I don't share Ven's hate for it. I think it's an aesthetic choice. It's a perfect.
I never said hate.
But Jesus, the music. So generally I actually listen to other music while playing video games just because I want to listen to my own soundtrack. But for these games, I go give it a shot, and it just hurt my ears. I really don't like it. It gives me a migraine. So just for that, for making me go
hang on.
get the Advil.
J-Man.
Yeah.
How could you ever forget our dear doctor every time he jumped and went,
Anyways, that the sound alone really made me give it 1 chair. I'm not impressed.
Oh, wow. 1 chair. Oh, zings are not looking so good.
Okay, yeah. I've already thrown my wrench, and you guys pretty much made all my points. And I would excuse the retro graphics and the 16-bit sounds if there was, some sort of synergy, if there was something about this particular category that would redeem the game. Unfortunately, there is not. So, for me, I'm gonna go with, what you guys said, 1 chair.
Well, that means that we're going to have to try really hard to average this. It's like adding 3 numbers and then dividing it by 3. Oh my god. What's 3 divided by 3? It's 1. 1. So, our penultimate category is the control section. And this has gotten a little bit of a left turn from the previous 2 categories. Why don't you get into that a bit?
All right, controls. Controls. A bit of the story. It started out really nice. It started out something that anyone could enjoy. A small farm boy might enjoy before he found a 50-gallon barrel of lube next to him, wondering what this meant. I'll tell you what it means. The menu navigation was downside up. Using my Logitech Precision gamepad, I was like, okay, we'll work around that. We'll get that going, which I was infinitely impressed that it worked in the first place. Brilliant. Then I play for a bit. I'm used to controlling, Captain Professor Pixely Pants, doing his thing. It's like, oh, jump.
Let's call him Dr. Love for now.
Dr. Love Sauce.
Dr. Love.
Then I got the beep portal gun. Beep gun. We're not calling it the portal gun because that would be an
Interdimensional gateway projectile.
obvious ripoff.
We represent what is legally distinct from the Lollipop Guild. The Lollipop Guild.
Here's the nasty part. The precision, no hat controller. That's old school. I mean, I use this for like SNK fighting games and stuff like that.
Good old King of Fighters.
Fancy hat controllers for directionals because that's what you use your wireless gerbil for. That was the first time, after spending several minutes playing the game, and I was like, oh, wait. Now you need just quit using your controller and learn to use your wireless gerbil and keyboard because we didn't tell you that you needed to have a hat. And I'm just like, come on. Maybe we should have said that. But the controls were tight. I dug them. I mean, they work for what they were, minus that knock. Even with the wireless gerbil and keyboard, I'm going to give 3.
I actually found the controls fairly tedious, like in terms of the portal manipulation and whatnot. I don't know. I
Did you do the one up,
Logitech...
one down, where it just infinitely loops?
You have to use that to...
Anyways, I tried it first with the keyboard and mouse. The jumping controls with keyboard and mouse I really don't like. Got killed by those little floating brains in jars because of bad timing with that. So I switched to the Logitech Genero controller, and that actually didn't work. I had to switch to my roommate's PS3 controller, which worked right out of the box, and then the control scheme got a bit more tolerable. But still, the double analog stick thing on the 2D plane doesn't really map well in my brain. Not horrible controls, they work for what it is. Not my favorite thing, but I'm not going to get personal opinion. I'm not going to let personal opinion get in the way of this, so I'm going to give this 2 chairs.
And yeah, going back to the fact that all of us are well past our 20s, and we've all played retro platformers, and if there's one thing you need in a retro platformer is precision. And in this game, the jump function was a bit temperamental. Well, Jordan actually touched a little bit on that, but yeah, I played it with the mouse and the keyboard because I knew there was going to be portal guns involved, but we're not calling it that, so...
Interdimensional gateway projectile rifle.
Yeah, that thing. That, it's a platformer.
Well, it sounds better than penis cannon.
I don't know, I kind of like penis cannon, but that doesn't really describe what it does.
Touche.
But it is a platformer, and the jump function is important, and if you have to keep the jump button pressed for an entire second for your character to do the complete jump that it's supposed to do...
Are you trying to tell me that your calculator is so slow?
No, and I even have an external keyboard to, not use the embedded keyboard. But that's the thing. You need precision controls in a platformer.
So they need to tighten up the controls for your platform.
Definitely. And that was really my only issue with the controls in this game.
No, actually, sorry, I had to interject. Something just popped into my mind watching that trailer. The extended look with the portal gun is really awkward to control with a controller.
I was wondering about that. I mean, it made sense when I had the R button.
Yeah, but then you have to hold down the L stick and then move around the right stick to look around. And...
Well, you're used to holding down sticks, but this is Pedro's part. Go ahead, tell us about holding down sticks.
Yeah, it's just, like I said, it's a precision thing that you need. You really do need it in a platform.
So you're saying if you're playing a platformer, precision might be necessary.
Yes, you really do.
Cheers!
Precision.
Give them to me!
Okay, I really don't have anything else to deduct, so 3 chairs.
And to sum that up, I'm not gonna do the I can't do math joke. It's
Beep,
2 chairs.
boop.
Beep, boop,
Boop.
beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, beep.
He's shoving it up his
I'm
nose.
just having fun with them at this point. 2 chairs.
And finally, we're gonna give it an FU, and then did you have fun?
Well, was going
Get
to
the
have
fun.
fun with it. And in case you missed that last category, that was control. But this is, no joke, our subjective category. As you can obviously tell that I'm madly dashing around on multiple monitors, trying to sort this business out. For me, fun. Fun. Our subjective category. This is where we get to go wild and we get to be a bit mental about it. Fun, I believe, personally, is a strong word for this game. I'm gonna go with challenging. This is something that you can pick up and you can put down, preferably put down. The puzzles, I don't like the Uden system of nickel and diming to learn the puzzles and all that. I feel like this is maybe better set for I don't know, stupid people or children. But definitely I have to absolutely say, even without the Steam Summer Sale being half off, it's priced right. If I bought this and I played it, it's something you can pick up and you can put down. If I bought it, I was like, alright. It is what it is, and we went through our entire review system, throwing chairs at it. I was like, I would not feel as dirty as I do talking to this man. But for fun, I'm give it 2 chairs.
Well, I got to the point where I had to. You reached the teleporter that takes you back to about halfway through the first level, and so I had screwed up. I had launched a portal that had that one of the lasers that you needed to target, which required me to basically I screwed up, and the game required me to backtrack about half a level. At which point I said, "Yeah, no, I've had my fill of this game." I did not. I really went through the motions playing this game. It was purely mechanical. There's no real fun involved. I've already played Mario Zero or Mario or whatever the hell you call it. This didn't really do anything.
Are you
for me.
the dark, jaded Linux Gamecaster?
No, give it one.
Are you dead inside?
I was never alive inside to begin with.
How many chairs?
I said 1. You people don't listen to me, you crazy motherfuckers.
Thanks. I never listened to him. Thank you, Pedro.
Anyway, yeah, Pedro, you go.
Yeah, so here's the thing. The game has some variety. It's not just regular portals like Mario. But, yeah, it's
By variety,
got that...
you mean that you can actually hang yourself up in them. Oh, wait. Pedro, you remember that old, way back when, that game that had the same mechanic?
Which one?
2D Portal, when it got released for... It was a Flash game, I remember that.
No, it wasn't a Flash game.
No, I'm talking about a different game.
It was where you controlled, like, the shadows and lights, and it was a 2D platformer Atari type thing.
Oh, I remember that. I can't for the life of me remember the name, but I know exactly which game you're talking about.
The one that kind of reminded us of, like, Night Sky or something? Or...
No, the way the portals are visualized in this game really reminds me of that.
Closure.
Closure, yeah.
All right.
Closure. Yeah. So anyway, going back to this gateways. The portals have some variety to them. You can set a portal to shrink you, or embiggen you, or
It's a perfect
shift the gravity. If you go through a portal, you can shift the gravity so you're coming out. Actually, that video is actually explaining how the gravity manipulation thing works.
There's some walls that you can't use your portals on.
Yes, unfortunately, that doesn't happen until you're like 2 hours in. And Jordan actually touched on this. It gets boring really fast. And I clocked like 80 minutes into the game, and I got the gravity manipulator thing. I think that's the third one you get. The second is the flashlight.
Flashlight.
The flashlight.
Yeah, you get a flashlight. But yeah, Ven actually touched one of the subjects I wanted to address, which was purchasing, hints. That right there is you laughing in people's faces, because one of the achievements for the game, if you're one of those people that likes to get all the achievements, one of the achievements is not purchasing any, hints. And as soon as you get to that point at the middle of the first level, when you get to a hub sort of area, you got 6 paths. That's the one you came from, and 5 others. You can only progress through one of them. And all the others have those hint-buying jars, vials, thingies. Yeah, that orange thing in the video there. You can buy the hints from those things. And for a person
after spending 5 orbs to see if it's even solvable.
Yeah, you have to see if it's even solvable. It doesn't solve the puzzle for you. It doesn't do anything.
So it's like Mario for daft people.
No, actually, the entire game is screaming, we wanted to make Portal and enlarge, the spectrum of what portals can do.
Give me the chairs!
But our budget only allowed for a 2D retro platformer, and no snarky homicidal computer voice actor stepped up, so...
Well, Ellen McLean isn't cheap.
Waiting on chair.
1.
Booyah.
Booyah. So 4 divided by 3 is 1 point something something something. So we're just gonna call that 1 chair for the fun section.
No, that 1 chair. Right chair. Right chair. Ooh.
Now we total everything up. We average all our
that's
categories.
All our categories. But what does that 1 chair mean?
That 1 chair means no. It's not fun.
Why does it mean no? We need to give our final thoughts.
Well, I was getting to that. So 1 chair represents a number of things. It either means the game doesn't work, or it's not fun, or there's something wrong with it. In this case, this game doesn't really do anything for any of us, does it?
Nope.
It turned you into a blue ball.
Well, to be fair, that may have been that magic potion I took that was actually just a bunch of LSD. But
touché. But no, I get what you're saying. I mean, it doesn't do anything. I mean, my first thought is, I think across the board with us, we are a bit
jaded.
Yeah.
Jaded. Yeah.
But when your first thought is like, just play Mario with a love engine.
Yeah. You know, it's a much better game that uses this sort of setup. Super Mario Crossover.
Yeah.
Go play that. That's free. Don't even bother with this.
So
but yeah, it's what I was saying. They wanted to expand on what Portal did with the portals themselves. They want to, instead of just being the transition from one portal to the other, they wanted to add like special effects. Unfortunately, they don't have the budget to do Portal or anything close. So they made a 2D retro platformer with pixels and 16-bit audio, and I kind of resent them for that.
Now, this is where I disagree. This is our final part. I honestly believe they had the budget to make the game they wanted. Because when they started making the game, they said, hipster, retro, pixel, platformers.
Okay, then that's
Profitable.
even worse.
Brilliant!
If this was what they were aiming for, it's even worse. No.
Maybe they got halfway through it and said, oh, let's throw some fucking portals in this business. Why?
Portals,
Because
man.
F you, that's why. And they did so, and the mechanics, I mean, honestly,
There's some good ideas.
This is my final thoughts. It's what it is. It is something that you can pick up and play and tinker with, but it is not something that whatever is like, oh, I need to finish this level. It's like, I'm waiting for paint to dry, so I'm going to fire this back. But it is still, if you're in the situation, personally, that requires paint to dry, good game. Because you might want to pick it up and finish where you were.
Honestly, I didn't get to the part where there was some more variety in the portal guns and whatnot. And there are a few good ideas in here, but ultimately, ideas that are good on paper do not necessarily translate to good ideas in practice. And
they could have done so much better if
they really could have. But such is the case. We have the game we have. So there you go. Our final review total is 1 chair. If you like Ben said, if you really have to watch some paint, if you really have to watch paint dry and you have $2 lying around and it's on sale on Steam, go buy a Snickers bar. But coming up next,
I think that's brilliant. How about you, B-Man? You think it's brilliant?
Nothing else to add. I think that nailed it.
Yeah. So coming up next, you scream at us with your hate mail, and we scream back.
And we've got to that part of the show that after about an hour of screaming in your direction, we read what you guys scrammed back in hours in days past. Well, maybe. This is our hate mail, and the first one, Ven. Why don't you give us the first one?
Not so hateful.
Yeah,
Not so hateful. Yeah.
Questions about your website. First off, love, giggity. The show. It's the most awesome Linux gaming podcast out there. You guys are awesome and give out the information in a very entertaining way. I've never been bored with you guys. I used to Linux Action show, but since the Duke boy left, they're informative. It's got a bit dull.
I can respect that.
Thanks for always keeping me entertained, and hopefully one day I can see you guys like and be part of. Alright, apparently your brain broke from our awesomeness!
Speaking of brains not working, where's the question?
Yeah. That is the question.
You know, I kind of get them. I think like P-Man, I used to actually watch the Linux Action Show when the Duke Boy was on.
Same here.
And
it was the only reason.
In all fairness, I like Chris. You know, I've been on the Linux Action Show myself. I like Chris. I like Matt, but it is a collection of goofy knowledge, but it's also a, you know, when are they going to say, you know, fuck midgets?
Nope. You'll never hear that in the Linux Action Show. I mean, if
But you'll
Lunduk was
hear
still
that
there, he might
live
sneak
on
in.
Linux Gamecast.
If Lunduk was still there, he might sneak in a cuss word here and there. But unfortunately, Chris and Matt, hey, we like you guys. You're not doing it on Linux, so you're doing it wrong. But yeah, okay. Where's the question, though? What's the question?
That is the question. I told you.
He's just saying we're being awesome. Can't you for once take a compliment?
But
Never.
the question!
Take it.
Question!
Take it. Do not
Okay,
turn into
so
that blue
the next
ball
one
again.
is Nathan Gibson and Champions of Death. Hi, my name is Nathan, and I work for NRD Studios, a small independent developer based in Sweden. I am writing to you to tell you about our new game, Champions of Death. It's a real-time strategy, third-person hybrid multiplayer game that will be released in 2013 for PC and Mac. Ha! So, I'm just gonna stop
Hello,
there.
right here.
Yeah.
Oh, Linux. Don't mention it in the email. Interesting. Two brothers are fighting for control over the kingdom of Dama and have asked for champions who can come forward and lead their armies to victory. You play as one of those. So it's a MOBA.
Yeah, that's what it's sounding like. It's a 32-player MOBA, apparently, but...
Okay. So 32 players online, multiple modes of gameplay, hundreds of choices to be made, character and player customization, 9 playable classes, interactive maps.
Yeah, I'm thoroughly indifferent about this one.
Why so?
Sounds interesting, I guess. I don't think I'd play it for more than maybe an hour if I were to buy it, but...
Yeah.
Well, you know, it looks kind of interesting. It escapes my minuscule brain, I think. Possibly. Stick with me on this one. They might have a Kickstarter, but since they didn't read that big...
Well, they didn't really mention it either, so...
Oh, this is the
They
edited
did.
version.
Then just cut it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, stop it, Ben. You're digging a hole here. Just Pedro, Battle of Sands.
Yes, let's carry on. This comes
I'm
from...
not quite done. I actually did cut that out for that. For that reason. But what did I cut out again?
Battle of the Sands.
No, I cut out the Kickstarter mention because you didn't read the submission guidelines.
And there's only really one guideline. If you have a Kickstarter or something along those lines, provide a demo, a prototype, anything we can play. If you don't,
That's all we ask, nothing more, and we're not going to chastise you if you don't. But that's why
even if it sucks, we'll talk about it.
And that's why we mentioned your Kickstarter. Yep. Green light. That's what we mentioned. So, check those guys out. Up next.
Battle of the Sands.
Up next, it comes from Enk, or ENQ.
Ink.
And he says, hey guys, Battle of the Sands is a 2D real-time strategy. Where have I heard that? It was released recently and is now available at the reduced price of £9.95 in Windows and Linux versions. The Linux version is a Debian package. You're doing it wrong.
What?
We've already debated how to package things accordingly for Linux.
But look at it. It looks like Tetris.
And dabs are not
or
the way
Dune
to
2.
It looks
in
like
1995.
Yeah.
Knights of the Callus is a
Dune
2D role-playing game for Windows. Okay, this is a different game. It was released in October 2009 and is now available for the... Yeah. Okay. For both games, a free demo is available from heroicfantasygames.com. Okay, they have demos. All right. They're not running Kickstarters, though, are they?
If they were, we would give them a mention.
Yeah.
But check them out most definitely,
Even
because
though
even
game
if you don't like it, guess what? You get to
Yeah.
try it.
Precisely. And even though the game to me doesn't look particularly appealing, maybe it will strike your fancy. And they have a free demo. Check it out. And I think that about wraps up our.
No. I want to get your thoughts on this. Master Sfeg.
If I wanted to play Dune 2, I could just play Dune 2.
No. Maddie has brought up a good point.
Hate
Mail is turning into spam. You're right. You know what? Next week, no more campaigns and shit. We're gonna get some actual feedback. Send in some wacky crap.
Yeah, it's this whole thing. We need you to help us. So if you know of a good game or anything fun like that, maybe let us know. Or if you know of a good project, something that make
really funny, dirty joke.
Good hate mail sauce at the end of the day. Send that in. But you can always find us at wait for it.
Wait for it.
Music.
Good music.
At some place that plays music at LinuxGamecast.com/podcast, where there is occasionally music. There's also lots of wonderful
Amazon feeds. We got one-time
Amazon
donation,
links,
$3.50 donation, and $10 a month recurring donations. You get in on that. We got 3 people there. I would like to see more one-time donations. Even if you don't want to get into the recurring donations, trust me, 10 quid just for 1 month. You get some show notes. Try it out before you buy. It's going to be a bit brilliant. But, as always, I'm Vin Stone at VinStone Plus, Vin Stones on the G Pluses, and this awesome human carbon-based entity.
I'm Jordan Spung. You can find me at the Burning Cooler Plus Jordan Spung. Twitter Plus.
This nightmare fuel.
Oh, look at him! Look, what a face! Not
all
even
the
a
way from the other side of the Atlantic. Your worst nightmare. I'm Pedro Mateus.
He's the giggling death himself.
And you can find me at unaccounted4 on Twitter or plus Pedro Mateus on Google+.
And at the end of the day, always check us out on our YouTubes. Look at this handsome devil right here.
Yeah. Look at him.
Right there. Gob. We got a Facebook page and also Linux_Gaming, our favorite.
Second
favorite Kiwi website. So I guess the only thing we could do is wave upside down at the people. Hi.